Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at disneyplus.com. A quick news update for you guys on a number of shows being cancelled and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So as we all know, Disney has been doing some major cost cutting and changes to its plans because, as Bob Iger has said on many occasions, they're looking to sort of try and cut some money off their budgets. They've already cut about $7 billion and they're looking to do more. And one of the ways they're doing this is by reducing the amount of general entertainment content that they create. And unfortunately that means we're seeing less shows being commissioned, but also we're seeing some shows coming to an end. They're trying to focus more on global releases, more on franchises, more on IP that they own. And unfortunately, there's a number of titles and stuff which just don't fall into it. And also, now with the writers and the actors strike over, they're kind of having to pay out a little bit more for some shows. And ones that have been around a while or maybe aren't pulling in enough ratings are kind of in target for kind of being cancellation. This is nothing new. This has been going on for decades. Anything that's underperforming is likely to be let go. And we've got some updates on some new shows that are not going to be returning after a while. Let's start off talking about the big one, which is Station 19. So this is going to be returning for its 7th season in March, and that will be available on ABC, Hulu, and Hulu on Disney Plus in the US and on Disney Plus around the world. So this series is going to be returning for just 10 episodes because of the strikes. They've had to cut it short, and now it is going to be the last season. They're going to be wrapping up all the stories. In some ways, I think this makes a little bit more sense. I think with Disney picking up 911 from the Fox network, they don't necessarily need all of these different emergency dramas. And I'll be honest, I think like Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy has kind of run out a little bit of steam. I've been a fan of Grey's Anatomy since it first launched. I've been watching it for close to 20 years. I've been enjoying Station 19, but I got a little bit like wishy-washy about how often I watched it. And also, in the US, it was a little bit different where sort of Station 19 used to run into Grey's Anatomy. So there was an accident would happen in Station 19. They would deal with it and then they would put them into the hospital and then they'd be picked up from there. However, sometimes the release dates weren't quite adding up and they were shown differently, so we didn't necessarily sometimes get all that. They're going to be dropping that for the 10th season, and they're just, like I said, going to be wrapping it up with a shorter one. Yeah, it's a bit of in some ways I can see why this is happening. Again, cutting back things I think is only natural, and these shows are going to get more and more expensive, but at least they get to wrap it up with a 7th season. They apparently knew about it when they started preparing this new season. But I think we're going to see some more cancellations, not just from Disney, but across all the different studios as they come away from the strikes, and they reevaluating what's profitable, what's working, what isn't. And in some ways, as we're seeing with all of the shows, you can't really be looking at the ratings of the last few years and trying to compare to, because during the pandemic, some shows blew up because we were all locked in. And one of those shows is Cruel Summer, which was a huge success when it launched on Hulu and on Freeform, but that show is also going to be not continuing. They have done 2 seasons. Luckily with them, they're anthology series, so going into the 3rd one doesn't make much of a difference. So yeah, we're just, those last 2 seasons are it. I think with Cruel Summer, it makes a lot more sense for Disney to cut their losses on this one because the ratings for the 2nd season weren't so high. They did want to do it, but apparently the costs just didn't justify what they were doing. Also, this show is made by E1, so it's not actually made by one of Disney's studios, so therefore it's only licensed, and also it's just in the US. They can't use it internationally as well. It's not even on Disney Plus here in the UK. So yeah, Cruel Summer is another show that's been done, but that's not going to be the only Freeform series not returning because there's not going to be a 6th season of Good Trouble. We're obviously going to be returning with some new episodes in the new year of the 5th season of Good Trouble. And the nice thing is with this one, that they are actually going to try and film some extra scenes to add to the finale to kind of close off the series. I'm really glad they're doing this. So many times, because apparently they filmed everything, but they're going to do a little bit of changes at the end, which I think is good. If you're going to close off a series, especially one that's been running for seasons, at least let them wrap it up, kind of finish it off. Either do an extra episode or, like I say, in this case, doing some extra scenes. But yeah, so that show is going to be coming to an end. That one at least was made by ABC Signature, so it's been released like here in the UK on Disney Plus. And again, all of these shows you can now watch on Hulu on Disney Plus in the US. That's going to take a while to get used to, and obviously as well on Disney Plus around the world. The interesting thing with Cruel Summer and Good Trouble coming to the end, we are really seeing now Freeform, to be honest, is in Freeform, because the shows are just dropping like flies. They've got Grownish coming to the end. Now they've got The Good Trouble. There is no more scripted shows currently scheduled after that. They've got 3 reality TV kind of things happening next year. I think Freeform is pretty much done from next year. They've announced no new shows. They're not commissioning anything. I think once we saw sort of Disney kind of dump the channel when they did all the negotiations with Spectrum a couple of months ago, other platforms are going to do the same. Freeform just does not fit in. All that really is it's doing now is people watching, the 30 days of Christmas, the 30 days of Halloween. That's what's pulling in viewers. It's pulling in, and whether or not they keep that going for a little bit longer. But yeah, Freeform, to be honest, this feels like the last legs of it just being pulled away. They're not really making anything anymore. Yeah, it's just a way, and I think most people would probably say, Freeform is just not what it used to be. That audience that it goes for, teenagers and stuff, is moved on, and they're not going to linear. But yeah, so that's the end of, definitely, I think, yeah, there's no more scripted after the last couple of episodes of Grownish and Good Trouble come out early next year. So let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. On that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Laters.